Greetings and welcome, family. We're going to have fun tonight. Everyone who is listening, put what part of the world you are tuned in from. Let me get my sweatshirt off. It's cold in the New York City area and high winds. So thank you for joining us. Let's do the openings before we bring on our featured guest and co-hostess, Kofunya. Here we go.
Blessed love, this is Lion King, you know. Breathe up and out and feel yeah, man, breathe Lion King, up and out and feel. Give thanks to life, give thanks to health and strength, you know. Give thanks to positiveness, give thanks to consciousness, give thanks to righteousness, give thanks to love. Give thanks to Adi Flathead, Jah, universal love, you know, one and all, you know. Give thanks to all good things and all abundance and all blessing and then I approach in a new year, you know. Praying for everyone to be conscious, righteous, loving, caring, sympathetic, loving each other, you know, doing for each other, you know, because God is love and love is God, you know, so let us all love, you know. And remember, love is the key that opens all doors, no matter what race or nation. Love is the key that opens the door for only Mount Sinai. And whosoever enter in, ever live in life shall have, you know. So love is the key, you know. So peace and love to the world, you know, and blessing and prosperity and joy and happiness and goodness for the 2024 coming from Andrew Priest, the Lion King. And if you want to contact I, 347-444-4460. Give thanks to life. Jah, Rastafari, Holy Emmanuel, and Selassie. Jah, Rastafari, Holy King Emmanuel, the scepter. Jah, Rastafari, heal the might, heal the strong, and the might, I am the I am. Holy John, Marcus, Messiah, Gavi, I, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, Holy Bet, my people, my sure, my Lord, we know people, Selassie, Jah, Jah, give thanks, and feed the lion, my Lord, first.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'een. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladhina an'amta alayhim. Ghayr maghdubi alayhim. Wala dwalleen. Alhamdulillah. Dr. Sonata Kamara, co-founder of Temple Mother Earth, sending love, peace, and abundance prayer to everyone around the world.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Sheikh Sufi Ba. SheikhSufi@gmail.com. CheikSufi@gmail.com. Opening prayer for the greatest shaman that I know in the West, Brother Ankh, Rising Sun. A'udhu billahi bismillahi inna waliyullahu. A'udhu billahi bismillahi inna waliyullahu. A'udhu billahi bismillahi inna waliyullahu. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin al-Fatihi lima ulika wal-Katimi lima sabaka Nasir al-Haqi bil-Haqi wal-Hadi ila siratika mustaqim wa ala alihi haqqa qadrihi wa miqdarihi al-azim.
Hey, Kofunya, we're doing the opening invocation prayers.
Aboru, aboye, aboshishe, alafia, ubuntu, assalamu alaikum, assalamu alaikum, sanda, om namah shivaya. I give you praise in the name, shalom, whatever your wonderful, wonderful beliefs and your system of beliefs is, we give praise. But we give praise to the Olodumare, the Olorun, the Somole, the Agbamole, Efunfuni, Legi, Pupu, Tekunani, Samujuelo, what their room, Mojuba, Mudemo, Male, Mafon, Matibo, Joe. We give praise to the God who is the owner of today, the owner of yesterday, and the owner of all days to come. He to whom the Rumole and the Agbamole exist to know his laws and command, originating creator, all things discovered and yet to be discovered. We give praise to our grand, powerful ancestors, those wise ones who come, give us directions, light, love, and help us to be able to receive the benefit in our life. We ask that you be able to embrace the great divinity of Rumila, the one who is witness creation, second only to all of the Mari, the owner of medicine, more powerful than medicine, the immense orbit that fought the day of death. He to who is the perfect in the house of wisdom. He is able to heal and to regenerate you creatures of ill luck and bring them perfectly back into homeostasis, understanding, light, and love, and helping you to embrace the love of the universe as we give praise to all the creatures of the universe, everything that moves and reverberates, and the vibration that moves in your life. Allow you to find goodness, allow you to find health and vitality, strength to move forward for the accomplishment of all the goals that you have set for you and your family. My name is Babalao Oluwole Abiyomi Fakunle Adetuti Ronkolo de Manyansa. My nickname is Babalao of Harlem. We send greetings to you today. As you at www.ifakunle.com, you can reach me and we will talk. Peace.
Okay, we're going to shorten the invocation. Kafunya, can you hear me okay?
I hear you wonderfully. I didn't even know my phone. I wasn't.
Okay, I'm still doing the opening. I am in me. I am in Kafunya. I am in you, the listening audience, now and in the future. We collectively and individually, in the spirit of Ubuntu, call upon our ascended master ancestors to guide this show through the spoken words, the questions, and the flow. May we shine with our divinity as we look into the past. We say to everybody, please forgive me in my past lives. And most of all, I am forgiving myself in my past lives. And as we peel our heel into the here and now and unlimited possibilities of future timelines, we say, yes, I am forgiving all future possibilities, all present manifestations of personalities. And most of all, I forgive myself. We ask for the presence and the guidance of the latest ascended masters, Yahshua. Let me get Yahshua's picture up in here, y'all. He said a new paradigm. Here's Yahshua according to AI from the description of the Bible. Here's Yahshua. We ask Yahshua be here. We ask for the presence of Saint Germain, gatekeeper of Mount Shasta, Northern California, hollow into the earth. We call on the latest Christ born in the Congo, Simeon Toko. We call on the ascended master, Sheikh Amadou Bamba. We call upon Nikolai Tesla. We call on Sanat Kumara. We call on Enoch, the Ethiopian who rose into the heavens and became Metatron. We ask in the name of love, Black Madonna, Mother Mary, also known as Arset, and look at the baby on the nipple. So we call on Tahuti, Sheshat, Asar, Seraphis Bay. We call on ascended masters of Atlantis, Lemuria, and the Buddhas, the Lady Buddhas, the Krishnas, the Lady Krishnas. We call on Wakantanka Tankashala, Olodumare, We call on South African Zulu shaman Credo Mutwa, Nat Turner, John Brown, Harriet Tubman, Mary McLeod Bethune, Frederick Douglass, P.B. Randolph, Booker T. Washington, Dr. George Washington Carver, Dr. Sabi, Dr. Kalindi Aye. We call on all the activists, shaman warriors of antiquity and future possibilities to be with us on this magical show. And we say together, Ashe, Mahalo, Donada, Wado, Amen, Amen. And family, post what part of the world you are listening in from. Whether you're listening in from UK, whether you're listening in from Senegal, whether you're listening in from Canada, whether you're listening in from Tampa, we want to have all representation, even by Jamaica Queens. Okay, so let's get the banner out of the way so we can flow into the show tonight with our featured guest, Baba Phil Valentine. And this is a first. Perhaps it may be a series. And Kofunya, I want you to be so eloquent to introduce Baba Phil Valentine. Go ahead, girl, while I work these comments and where they're listening from.
Well, my brothers and sisters, we're in for a treat that may not be repeated, because when you tune into the here and now in the present moment, we have one of our avatars, our healers, our everything. I want to present to each and every one of you with an open mind and an open heart and open hands to present Baba, Dr. Phil Valentine, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Phil, I didn't know she was going to say it like that, but that's Kofunya. Hey, let it flow. Let it flow.
Greetings, my brother. How art thou?
Oh, we can't hear you, Phil. Unmute your mic.
Oh, all right. Okay. I felt like I was at the Apollo Theater for a minute.
Well, you know, me and King Simon used to work together.
Oh, that's
And yeah, we did all the promotional big shows in Manhattan, at Irving Plaza, at the Palladium, at SOBs, you know, so we got that kind of vibration within us. And, you know, it's just out of love, the love and respect that we have for you, Baba, Dr. Valentine. Yes.
Thank you. Much
Yeah,
appreciated.
bro. So we appreciate you being here tonight. So we got the questions, family. Start posting your questions. The first one, Baba, you ready? Did you want to make any comments before we get started?
Well,
I just wanted to let everybody know about the replay. We're doing the my sound is low. Can't not sure why.
sounds great to me. They just need to probably refresh their computer or turn up their volume.
Okay.
What I
Sounds
was
good over here too.
Yeah.
with there. Speak over to this microphone here. I just wanted to let everybody know that a lot of people have been asking me to do a rebroadcast of the last webinar I did.
Mm.
And so we're going to be doing that on the 18th of February. And on the 18th of February at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are going to repeat that webinar, The Aristocracy of Evil. Everything that's happening in your news today was already predicted and put about 25 years ago. So the Aristocracy of Evil is actually a redux or a replay or an updating of this particular subject matter that we're dealing with. And you're going to see definitely what's happening overseas, what's getting ready to happen with the economy, everything that they're not telling you in the news. We've put it forward, and as well as what they're about to unleash in the form of microbes upon us during this year. So all of that, and our number for the services that we have, our university, our homeschooling, our exemptions, and everything connected with consultations and so forth. We have the telephone number, and Brother Hank will provide that for everyone, and as well as the link to be able to register for the upcoming webinar.
Oh yeah. And I want to thank our beautiful sister Salam, even though she's trying to do a bank job with that hood on her head. I want to thank you for being and showing feminine presence on the show tonight. I want to thank you, Kafunya. And I'll post the first question. Well, let me see. Let me scroll back.
I just wanted to say something to Baba Valentine, that I'm very happy that your webinar was a successful one, and giving the people the guidance that is so needed in these times, and knowing that they have the power to, number one, reclaim their power, and number two, uh, let's get ready and fasten the seatbelts.
Indeed, it's going to be a little rough ride in the beginning, but after April going into May, that's when we have to be on our P's and Q's, because a whole new system, which might cause the crash in our economy, which is something we're going to have to be more prepared for. Get your food and your water, necessary weapons to protect yourself. There is going to be a mock civil war that will be taking place on this continent, something in the avenue of Red Dawn, to scare the people. And if anybody has seen that movie, Red Dawn,
I've seen that movie. Yeah.
So just be prepared. We may hopefully have some intervention regarding that, but all the people that's been coming through the southern border are not refugees from poor countries and so forth. These are soldiers in disguise that are being bivouacked in some of our more, ready military institutions. They are not going to speak the language, but they will be dressed in our uniforms. So you're going to have to be very careful as well about who it is you're voting into office coming this year.
I have a question also to Baba Phil Valentine. You must be in my mind, or I'm in your mind, because I was going to ask about the borders that were originally Mexico. And is it the fact that somewhere in their psychic they are reclaiming their ancestral lands?
No, that has nothing to do with it. They're using that premise as a means for opening the borders to bring in people that have nothing to do with poverty or escaping anything, any kind of course, they are intermingled and intermixed with them. But these people, especially the ones who are Asian, who are from China, coming in from different parts of the East, these people have nothing to do with the people who are in Mexico or in Guatemala, these places. These people are coming in at military age, young men and young women. They're in their 20s, they're backpacking and so forth, coming in with that horde. And of course, the government that we have today is essentially in the pocket of the Chinese and the so-called deep state. You have to remember who it is that's running the country right now. We have a mafia that's pretty much running the country right now. And you have to watch both sides, as I showed in my last webinar, that the Khazarian mafia is who we're actually dealing with. And I know I called them out, but I don't want to say anything further than that. And you have to go and look it up for yourself. You'll see what's happening at this particular time. Your constitution that you created, the one that you created, which is the de jure constitution, not the territorial constitution or the municipal constitution. Those two constitutions were put in by the fiat government. The de jure constitution is what your ancestors created for this land, that came from the Haudenosaunee, or the Great Law of Peace, that we drew up from the Six Nations Confederacy of the North. And of course, of the South, we came with the Yamasee tribe and so forth. We were the first indigenous here.
And to understand what was really going on in this country, they took the people who were the Mongols who came over the Bering Strait Bridge, the Asian Mongols who came over that looked like you could see them, with the so-called Asian faces. Those are not the original people. Those are the people that came over here as conquerors and as migrants. The original people were the ones that they turned into the so-called slaves that they told you came from Africa. Only 2 or 3% of the people who were taken out of Africa actually landed in North America. The rest went to South America and to the West Indies. So they made a deal with these Asian people to actually become the indigenous peoples and then get the benefits of them so-called owning the land.
Ashe, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You got the first question for Baba?
Yeah, I'll read it off. Baba Phil, if this so-called artificial intelligence is real, shouldn't it recognize melanated humans have something pink people do not, and correct the white supremacy narrative
That's a
from
good question.
Los Angeles?
It's a good question if you're thinking that artificial intelligence has become totally sentient. It has not yet become totally sentient. What it is reflecting is what is being fed into it by the people who are uploading the programs, which are the Caucasians, which are the Nordic, which are the neo-Neanderthals who want to survive. So they are putting their own God in place. They have put their own melanin God in place, and that is AI. AI is their way of constructing a God that will oversee everything. In my webinar, I speak about the fact that the Nazi Klaus Schwab, who you see of these companies called Schwab Incorporated and so forth, his father was a Nazi or worked with the Nazis on eugenics. And what has happened is they have essentially taken over the artificial intelligence, where Klaus Schwab is quoted as saying, we will no longer need to have elections. The artificial intelligence will elect our leaders for us.
Wow. Okay. We got another one.
So just let them
Kufunya.
know, don't worry about the artificial intelligence. It's just doing mechanical work right now for those who are in charge, and they're trying to overcome the new form of freedom that's coming in, which is the blockchain, which is the so-called cryptocurrencies. Trying to get in contact because now it's outside of their banking and their control and their jurisdiction.
Okay. We got another question. Thank you for that, Baba Phil. Let's see.
I see one, Unc.
Which one you see, Kufunya?
Can you ask the doc, is the Black nobility secretly running the 13 families behind the scenes?
That's a good question. Yes, they say that the Black nobility, where they say there's a Black family that essentially owns more than Rothschilds or anyone else. But this is the jurisdictors of that are in the Philippines, where all the gold is actually stored in a gigantic cave. And the gentleman who I'm in contact with there, his official title is the Hand of the King. And he is the one, this person actually is the one dispensing the credit to all of the people that you see running banking systems across the planet. He owns all of the gold. So the reason why you see all of the change in the system, it had to change. In fact, it was he who allowed, and his family, who allowed the Queen of England to actually ascend the throne, because she gave them the 7th book. There's 7 books, 7 ancient books made out of gold and silver. And these essentially were that kept the archives of the human race from the last million years. And these 7 books, she had one of the books she gave back that was robbed by her people. She gave it back and then assumed the throne and took over the throne. And the one that they took the throne from, actually the one that the Germans, Coburg the Coburgs, who were the ones who came out of Germany. They're the ones who are now the British royalty. The last black nobility was Victoria. And what happened with Victoria was after she married into that Neanderthal strain, her lineage was exiled, and the true lineage to the black nobility in England is now living in Australia. They're pretty much simple farmers, but they're the ones who are the Plantagenet line. And the Plantagenet line is the one. As a matter of fact, the Plantagenet, the woman who married the redheaded, the one who was not really the child of Prince Philip or Prince whoever it is, but Andrew is his name. The one who married Andrew was actually from the Plantagenet line. That's why she could actually do that. And that's why Elizabeth and them hated her. That black child that you saw married Andrew, that's the reason why they tested her blood. Goes all the way back to the original Plantagenet line, which is the black nobility that ruled in England. But you see how they got rid of her? They made her marry a dude who essentially was not really a child of Diana's husband. Diana had an affair.
Oh, you're talking about the redheaded son?
Yeah, Andrew.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he essentially he came from the line of these Nazis. That's why you see him dressed in a Nazi when he was dressed up in the Nazi for Halloween. They had yeah, and the woman he married, the black woman he married, that everybody was so pissed off with, her bloodline is truer than the Queen Elizabeth's line to the throne.
Okay. I hope that answers your question, Jamal Morel. I have the next question if you don't, Uncle Hanky.
I want to pull somebody in on stage. They want to ask a question. Jay Seymour, we're bringing you from backstage. Could you activate your camera so that we can connect you, bro? Jay Seymour. Okay.
I guess he's not. Can we go to the next question?
Go ahead, Kafunya.
Can Baba Phil speak on the currency system and how does it affect us now?
Good question. The currency system right now, there's no real currency system. The energy system was based in false energy, which we call the fiat system. Right now, the present course that's being taken with the printing of bills has diminished the value of the dollar. Trillions of dollars were actually printed of fiat that had no backing, and the only backing for the present fiat system we had was the oil that Saudi Arabia. So we had the oil dollar versus the gold dollar, which Nixon took us off back in the 1970s. He took us off of gold, and then later on we were taken off of silver. So right now, the reason why we went to Iran, the reason why Rockefeller left the United States and went over to Saudi Arabia to actually grow the Saud or Saud clan and gave them, because they were the most vicious, they were the most murderous, and therefore they had control over the land that they stole. In fact, they too are what we call Khazars. Actually Arabs. Neither are the Iranians considered Arabs. They're considered Persians. That's why they're hated so much, because of the Persian Empire. The Iranians are the Persian Empire. They're not an Arabic empire. That's why Saudi Arabia doesn't mind that Israel spreads most of its projected land for Greater Israel, right way cutting Saudi Arabia in half.
Wow.
It includes across the Nile, a part of the Greater Israel includes across the Nile into Egypt, halfway down into Saudi Arabia, across to Kuwait, and up into Lebanon. Excuse me. Yeah, there you are. And it's to actually, they actually want to take over pretty much everything. And United States is next. United States is actually was annexed by Israel.
Wow. Whew. A whole lot of shaking going on.
It almost sounds like a movie without psychedelics, man.
I'm telling you. Do you have? I have a next question. If you don't have yours,
Go ahead, Cafonia.
yes. Thank you, Baba, once again for being here and answering the family's questions. And I hope everyone is taking notes as well. And we're going to put up Baba's Cash App shortly, so people who are interested in getting the replay.
Yes, PayPal. It's
PayPal. Okay. Yeah.
Ticker. Yeah,
Yeah.
PayPal is in the ticker.
Okay.
Ticker tape.
So Light Code asks his thoughts on what is happening here in the UK with the sign of the king being admitted to the hospital, and with the UK bringing up national services as the art are low with numbers, something like that.
King been admitted to the hospital.
Okay, I just posted it because
Yeah.
you're breaking up a little bit, Cafonia, but
national services as the art are low with numbers. I'm trying to figure out what the question is, but I'm going to see if I can pick through it. I know for a fact that
family, you got to keep these questions simpler.
Right.
You can't mix a question with a comment. So please be mindful of that.
Right. The king itself that was actually signed when he took over the throne from Elizabeth, her son took over her king took over the throne. Her son took over the throne from Elizabeth. What that signal was the new plans that came from what is called the Pilgrim Society. It was the Pilgrim Society that never dropped the genocidal protocols that they put in place. And it was them, it was four members of the Pilgrim Society, who also is, what's his name, Klaus Schwab, who's also a member of the Pilgrim Society. And out of England, the Pilgrim Society is the one who's running the new genocidal mandate for the planet. So the Pilgrim Society right now is the one who actually created the whole environmental protocols for cropping the planet of human beings, 2/3 of the human beings. It was they that created that. So the entire mandate for global warming and so forth, it came down like this. After World War II, after the Korean War, after all the wars that were fought on the planet, they sat back and said, listen, our militaries and our weapons have become so sophisticated that we are in danger of killing ourselves and wiping ourselves out. So what we have to do now, we have to create a new enemy, because the way that they agitate and they give substance to their control is through the monetary system. So they attack countries in order to undermine their monetary system, dropping, say, like they did for Iraq. They dropped the Iraq dollar down to 3 cents for every worth a dollar. Then after they conquered it, then after they bought up all of it, the same way that Rothschild did to London, England back in the day when they were fighting against Napoleon, they diminished and devalued the dollar all the way down until such time as when it came back up, when after they conquered, stole and rifled through all of their treasures. And then now they brought the dollar back up, but now they own the Iraqi dollar. So the Iraqs are not really getting the benefit of the worth of their dollar. And they're doing the same thing here. So at this point, we're having what we're looking at is a kind of devaluing of who we are, putting us in the crosshairs of the Pilgrim Society's plans, so that instead of now we fighting an enemy, which is essentially who they say all brown people are now the enemies of the white which is really what's happening. You don't see them attacking anybody else but brown and black people.
Mhm.
The race resources are. So whites are having a problem at this particular time as far as the Neo-Neanderthal hierarchy. They're having a hard time surviving because their birth rate is dropping. So those who are in the upper echelon, who are procreating and not allowing the others down at the bottom, white and black, to not procreate, what's happening is the Pilgrim Society said, we can't use the weapons that we have at this time against one another because it would be total destruction. So we have to find a new enemy, and they found the new enemy. Who is the new enemy? The new enemy is man.
Wow. So they're really anti-nature, anti-natural.
Well, they were saying that. They were saying that man is the new enemy of nature. So we're going to use that premise to attack the food, take over the food supply,
Right.
take over the water supply, take over the air supply, take over medicine, take over everything, and say that you humans are the problem with the earth, not the mess of the earth.
That is so funny.
It's of course all the mess they made of the planet, not us, but they made the mess of the planet, and they're saying
Exactly.
through projection, they're saying, okay, well, since you guys are the ones that's messed up the planet, what we got to say to you all is we got to get rid of some of you all. Now, this last so-called disease that killed over 5 million people. And I'm not saying they died from the disease.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just leave it like that, because they got a new X factor coming in, which is why.
Yeah. Because they're the ones that is creating it. So how they know it's coming? They know it's coming because they are creating it.
Yes, that's exactly the premise.
Yeah.
That they've already told you what they have to tell you what they have to do. They're going to do. They know the principle of karma. They have to tell you what they're going to do to you so that you can then say, well, it's not like I didn't know what you all were attempting, because you're telling us in the form of movies, in the form of the news, in the form of entertainment, in the form of every different thing right now. You're going to tell us all of what's wrong, what's out there, what we're getting ready to do. This new movie coming out called Civil War is exactly what they had planned for us. You check that movie coming out, Civil War.
Wow. Unc, I have another question if you don't.
Oh, go ahead, because I got a personal question.
Okay. This one is about coming from Jamal's journey, and he's coming into knowledge, and he wants to know he says, how do I kill my ego? Because he's saying that he's getting into the knowledge and he feels like I'm being more argumentative about what I know. And how do I kill my ego when it does that?
Well, let's just take the word ego out of it, and let's use the real energy that Freud called the ego. The ego, what they call the ego, is essentially free will.
Ah, yes.
Free will is the precipitant, and it's not only the precipitant but the precursor to all actions. You act in accordance with what you feel from within. Now, those who want to master you and to stop you from thinking and acting the way you wish to freely think and act, those who do that are now telling you that your free will and your wish to act against what they want for you is your ego. So ego is an energy. It's not a thing that belongs to us. It's a perversion of your free will. That's what we teach in our university. If you are on the path, your so-called ego will always come up, because if you feel offended by what somebody says or what somebody does or what somebody directs towards you, then you're in defensive mode. Then you feel helpless to act. And then acting out of belligerence or trying to shame or trying to overcome or outdo someone else in what you think you know, that's when your free will now is being perverted by your own personal interpretation of that moment. And that personal interpretation of the moment is that I was insulted. And this is why I wrote this. In order for you to insult me, this is what I say. Hang on a second.
Can we purchase those as well, Dr. Phil?
Yes, you can go online and you can find them. Hang on a second. Let me just get this for
I
you.
love it. In order to insult me.
I must first value your opinion.
Oh, go ahead, brother.
Nice try, though.
Beautiful. That is beautiful.
Yeah, I like having little billboards, walking billboards to get people to thinking.
It makes room for a great conversation too, for sure.
Indeed.
Unc, I have a question from Deborah, and we're gonna. I see the different questions that are coming in the private chat. So thank you, Unc Rising, Uncle Hanky. One person wants to know, can we still sign up with Reggie? I'm sure you know who that is, Baba, for crypto.
No.
Okay.
No. What if you're going to go for crypto? Go to uphold.com, uphold.com, and if you want to, I would suggest that there are 5 cryptocurrencies that I recommend very highly, that I myself have involved myself with. The one that you're speaking about with Reggie is dealing with another factor, that the government attacked the woman who created it. And she had to leave the country, or they were going to assassinate her. They wanted to buy her out. They offered her $100 billion, and she said no, because the people in Africa and the people here in America were actually gaining. She found a way to actually play the system that everybody wanted to buy it out. So what has happened right now, and I don't want to mention the name at this point.
Yeah, I get you.
And so what happens now, she's not in the country. She's somewhere on planet Earth, I can tell you. The Africans love her, is what I'm saying, but she's over there with BRICS. She's now going in with the BRICS, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And she's now there with that system. And then I would say to everybody who is having a problem retaining or getting their monies, it's not that she's trying to play the game. This is what I've been told from the higher ups, is that she is waiting for the right opportunity once she's accepted by BRICS, that she will open up that particular venue once again. So just hold on. Okay, so I would suggest XRP,
right?
XLM, XDC, also, let me say HBAR, HBAR, IOTA, IOTA, and Cardano, and that's ADA. Now those are my magnificent sevens. The other one I can't think off the top of my head. I just started it, but there's also another one called Cash Flow. That's going to be huge. And
what's it called, Baba?
Called Cash Flow, the Cash Flow Enterprises. Not only that, what you want to do is look out. They're getting ready to go. Supposedly, the so-called, look out for something called the Phoenix coin, PHOENIC, the Phoenix coin. Be on the lookout for that and get as much as that you can. There's a lot attached to that coin yet. It hasn't been hit the market. I'm kind of giving you some heads up.
Inside, yeah.
Just look out for that. I can't say any more than that. Just be on the lookout for it.
Oh, could you spell it again? It's PHOENIC. PHOENIC.
Like the Phoenix.
Okay. Phoenix coin. Okay, that's good information, and thank you for the other information for the person who is dealing with going to be dealing with BRIC. That's good news for a lot of us.
Yeah.
And we kind of know without mentioning any names.
Right.
Okay.
Kafunya, in the private chat, there's a question. Do you have access to the private chat?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Okay. Here's the question. What can you tell us about the people who are comatose they don't have any medical reason why they won't wake up after getting the Jabberwocky.
Well, you have to remember that the so-called prick, let's call it the prick. There has been a lot of blood clots in the heart because of what is comprised in it. They say that they found out that the molecular material of which that's created, that's in that syringe, the molecular material is made up of cobra venom and crate venom. The cobra venom, very toxic, and the crate is a snake from out of Japan. And these venoms essentially create, the way they kill is by coagulating the blood and causing blood clots in the brain and in the heart. And you've noticed that a lot of our children have been dropping dead on the field, especially the athletes. They've been dropping dead on the field. And a lot of people have just been going into comas and so forth and having strokes and so forth. And of course, they're not even talking about the many people who have died across the world. Millions have died across the world. And that was part of the agenda, but it's not working because you see, what's really the problem is this internet. It has the ability to give the rest of the world immediate information. Whereas when we were coming up back in the day when there was no internet, it'll take a week or two, maybe even a month before it came back around from the world. But people like ourselves, we were down on the low. That's why I created the metaphysical underground. Is because that's where all the information starts. That's where the root is planted. So when we went digging for information, because we knew how the universe worked, because we were studying and teaching metaphysics, we could always predict, because of trends, because of the way that the four seasons, the four elements, the four senses, we knew how things worked and how the psyche worked, and even how the gematria and how the way that numerology, we had the science that they debunk. We knew the science. What do you think that quantum physics is? Quantum physics is metaphysics.
Yes.
They put their own language. They brought a whole lot of scribbling on the board and scribbling this and this live pi over this. That's a bunch of crap. That's the way that the church hid knowledge behind the Latin language. They wanted to make sure that they had an in-house language. So the people who are dealing with quantum physics wanted to make sure you didn't know what they were discovering.
Facts.
So we know based upon metaphysics. That's why Dr. Gabriel Oyibo, who is a master genius, whose formula Gij, comma J equals 0, or the Gagut, completely subsumed Einstein's E equals mc squared. And he and I would be on in New York cable, chopping it up. He would talk from the physics. I would talk from the metaphysics, and we'd be saying the same thing. Which is why I told everybody that after I came out and my eyes were open and the wool was pulled over from my eyes, I knew we were on a flat Earth, and it's actually a flatted plane. And a lot of people were laughing at me and stuff like that. Well, you have lectures out there to say you was dealing with. Yeah, I was a fool just like everybody else, but I denied it because I was told about it back in the 90s from a brother by the name brother Gene Alexander, who used to be at the store at the Weiser's bookstore. He gave me a book telling me about the flatted Earth. And I said, well, I don't know.
Gene Campbell.
Yes. Campbell, I'm sorry. Gene Alexander. I know Gene Alexander.
That's all right. But you definitely hit the ball in the park. It wasn't out the park.
Yes. So Gene was always giving me the heads up. And I was saying, well, damn, I don't know what to do with this book. So I read through it and I was not ready for it. And it wasn't until about 4 or 5 years later when a young lady by the name of, I think her name was Crystal or Angelica, she told me, Dr. Valentine, you know the Earth is flat. And I said, whoa. And all of a sudden, ding, 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 that information what's his name? The worlds beyond the pole. Get the book called Worlds Beyond the Poles. That's where you're getting all your so-called aliens coming in through portals down here in Florida.
Wow. Thank you. Uh, the next question is, some of us are stuck in the game. How best do we end that particular game?
Well, remember that movie that came out that says it's interesting game. The only solution is not to play. Remember
Ah,
that movie? Yeah, and what it was with Matthew Broderick. I forget his name was. I think his name who played it, but War Games it was called. And what has happened is that we have to remember that if you are in the game and know you're in the game, then play it. Don't say, well, I'm in it now, I want to get out of it. You're in something called a compelled benefit. It's like a game is being played on you and you refuse to play it because, well, for whatever reason you have, maybe religious or whatever, you're
mm-hmm.
not playing the game as the opponent to it, the game. You have to become an opponent of the game, and to do that, you have to study the game. And when you
Yes,
study the game, all games have a flaw. All games have rules that can be exploited. All games can be seen for what they are if you understand them from a spiritual perspective and a metaphysical perspective, which is what we teach at our university. How to play the game and how to understand how to better the game and better yourself while you're doing it.
yes. The next question is, are you knowledgeable coming from, I think it's Drupsy or something like that? Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Are you, Baba, knowledgeable on the proven solutions for the treatment or cures for those who ingested and or were exposed to the PFA? If so, would you be able to kindly expound on some of the treatments that that can help people who were involved with the whole, the plant?
Yeah, yeah, we do have. Yes, we do have a countermeasures that we
Right.
use. The pine needle tea. We have. I can actually, if you want, I can bring it up. Can you
Please
see?
do.
I can give you my screen. Hang on a minute, everyone. What I'll do is I'll bring up the. Hang on.
Great show.
Yeah, this is a great show. Kafunya, some comments said that your sound is like overwhelming everyone else's. So
Is it?
maybe
Wow.
you can adjust. You
How about
sound
now?
you sound good now. That's great. So thank you, comments. Thank you, Cooley High. Cooley High was complaining, but thank you, Cooley High. You just had just your name brought back memories,
Well, he
man.
could have brought down his volume too.
Oh, okay. You sound good. You sound good to me.
Hang
What
on a
about
second.
anybody else?
Yeah, everybody, hang on for a second, people.
Yeah. In the meantime, family, please put your questions actually in capital letters as I am reading, them out for you. And make sure you come to our February 3rd event that's happening at Nicholas, Brooklyn with Black Dot and Blue
Blue Pill.
Pill
Right.
and other guests. There will be a sound healing meditation, a gong meditation, uh, lots of surprises there on February 3rd at Nicholas, Brooklyn, 1396 Fulton Street. Can you pull up that flyer,
Yeah, I'm
while
getting ready to do that right
Baba,
now.
while Baba is getting his information
Yeah,
together?
I'd like to know how I can show my screen. I don't see. If
Uh,
can you
how
give?
can you share a screen,
That's a good
Uncle
question. Let's
Hanky?
see. Screen share. Let me see if I can push a button. Screen share. Let me see. Here's a new layout. Let me see. Present. Extra camera slides. Share screen. Let's see what it says. Share screen is easiest with 2 monitors. Let me see. Share screen.
And Jamal Morel, Barbara just asked that question, answered that question about can you tell us about the sister that does the NOVO and the XRP? He just spoke about that. So you probably have to listen to the rebroadcast as we're moving forward, you know?
Okay.
I'm not sure, Phil, how to pull it up.
All right. Well, can you hear my voice?
Yeah, we can hear you good.
I'll read off everything that I have.
Hold on, let me see if this works. I'm gonna push this button.
Okay. This is
Yeah.
How's that?
I don't know. I don't see my. Hang on. Let me open up. Hang on. Let me see if I can get it. Tell me if you see this. Can you see that?
No. Let me get rid of that then.
Okay.
Stop sharing.
All right. Let me just read it off to everyone.
Okay.
Okay. This is what we call our countermeasures. And the first thing we have up on top is Juice Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's who you call. Actually, you text Ms. Nanette Hill. Nanette, Nanette, Hill, Hill. Ms. Nanette Hill, you text her first at 404-543-3245. Once again, Ms. Nanette Hill, text her first at 404-543-3245. And that's the one you want for the Juice Plus, or what we call our nutritional enhancement program. This has a higher rating than the FDA's organic certification. It has a certification higher than the FDA's organic that you see on foods.
Great.
And also, if you want to grow your own foods, you check with her for the Tower Gardens, where you can grow your own food in your own home, in your living room, in your kitchen, or in your backyard. The Tower Gardens. Okay. Now, the other thing that you need is something called shikimic acid, SHIKIMIC acid, or shikimate. Now, you're going to be using what is known as pine needles. So, but not all pine needles are therapeutic.
Right.
Online, you can get the oil or you can get the resin. Okay. But drink the oil and the resin that accumulates when you have created the pine needle tea. You can order it online, but make sure you get organic. It's an antiviral, an antimicrobial, an anticoagulant as well, as well as an antithrombotic. That's what the young athletes are passing away from, thrombosis, coronary thrombosis. Now, also, you may try something called star anise tea. Now, this has a powerful source of shikimic acid, and it's known to neutralize the so-called spike protein that they place in the thing. Also, getting out in the sun. If you have a lot of melanin, get out in the sun to get that vitamin D on your body. If you have a private place, get out in the sun naked, let it get into your entire body, but get as much as the vitamin D3 as you can. If you can't get it in the sun, get it from a health food store, a reputable health food store. Homeopathic iodine is excellent as well. You want to check with something called quercetin.
Right. Quercetin, yes.
Yeah, but quercetin with bromelain, which also is bromelain is very high in the pineapple.
Right, the pineapple stem, actually.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
But you can take that and mix it together, the stem with the juice, with the pulp.
Yes.
Now the quercetin helps to deactivate the spike protein. Now you want to deal with maybe 500 milligrams of that. Now quercetin It's found in onions, green tea, apples. Let me see what else. The herb called St. John's wort. And you want to get, when you're dealing with the St. John's wort, make sure you deal with the entire plant. You're dealing with the leaves, the stem, and the root. Okay? Also,
Yes, this is important.
buckwheat tea. That has a large amount of the quercetin in it. Now, also another great blood thinner to help with the blood is nattokinase. Now, nattokinase is made from soy, but it's not the soy that disrupts your I guess
Hormones.
your hormones, exactly.
Yeah.
And so you can get them. The nattokinase comes. You can get it. There's a different varieties. You can get it from Nature Bell, or
This
from,
is so good. This is so good. Thank you, Baba. It's so good.
yeah, okay. You
I'm
can get
taking notes. I got my pen and paper. Taking notes.
You get it from You get it from Nature Bell, the product from a place called. They have the best. They have about 8,000 international units, or what do you call units? The nattokinase. You can also deal with Doctor's Best. That's a brand, I think. Yeah, it's a brand called Doctor's Best, and they have about 2,000 of the units that you would need. Also, you can check with raw zinc,
Right.
as well as cracked wall chlorella. Chlorella is very difficult for the digestion. It doesn't digest very well. So you want to get what is called cracked wall chlorella. Ginkgo biloba is also good. Ivermectin, if you can get that as well.
What
Ginkgo,
about magnesium too? Because a lot of our people have a low frequency of magnesium.
yeah, but they have to have a proper amount of calcium to go with that as well. So
Right.
you get the balance of calcium, magnesium together.
Right.
Also, the ginkgo biloba also has a very high shikimate or shikimic acid in it as well. And those are the ones that we send out and we recommend for people. But again, you want the highest form of the shikimic acid, which would be the star anise tea and the pine needle tea, and see if you can get them. Make sure you get them in the organic variety. But the first things first, if you want to become independent and be able to feed your own family, I highly suggest you think about getting the Tower Garden
Right.
own food, as well as to getting the Juice Plus. Make sure you want to get the four-pack. You want to get the fruit, vegetable, the berry, and you want to get the I always have this problem with the fourth one. Huh? Oh, the omegas, right. Sorry. But the omegas, you want to get the 4-pack. And of course, you want to get it for your family. Oh, by the way, if you as an adult were to purchase the Juice Plus and you have a child that's above the age of 4 years of age, all the way into college, if they can prove that they're in college, Juice Plus will give that child their Juice Plus for free.
Wow.
Or they don't have the okay. They don't have. Y'all need to keep me up abreast of that. You know that, right, family? I'm over here. Anyway, children from 4 years of age up through high school, you can get children will definitely get the Juice Plus for free. Okay?
That's beautiful. And you know, family, make sure you hit the like button for the algorithms, please. That's very important. We have almost 500 people in the live chat, so please hit the like. I call it the love button. Please hit the love button, family. It only takes a second. I just did it myself. Jamal Morel, your question was just answered by Baba Phil. He says, can you ask why nutrition is imperative? Your health is your wealth, brother. You can have all the money in the world, all the material factors and everything, but without your health, come on. And Baba just answered that question. Is there anything else you want to expand on, Baba Valentine, to this person who was asking, why is
You
nutrition
know what,
imperative?
Kafunya, I'm also being mindful. Baba's taking care of. He got a lot of irons in the fire. So Baba Phil, I would like to keep it within the next hour. Say this hour, we got an hour so far. If you want to do about 15 more minutes, we can. But I want you to get your rest so that you can do them push-ups in the morning, my brother.
I'll do that.
Okay. So
Right
we'll
now.
do about. You want to do
Right
5 minutes, 15? Which do you prefer?
I want to reach to the family. I want to make sure that the family
Yes.
gets as much
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to be the clock master. It's 15 minutes right now. It's 10 o'clock, and you got
So
15
we're
more
going to
minutes,
say
and then we shut
10:30.
down.
We're going to do up until 10:30.
No, we're doing 10, 15.
10:15 is good.
Oh, okay. All right.
All
So
right.
let me get to these questions
Yeah, get
here.
to that question, and I'll show the banner for Nicholas, Brooklyn. This is
Right.
happening this Saturday. Thank you, Monique, for these psychedelic colors here. I mean, this is psychedelic. This looked like a cross between mushrooms and comic books.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
Okay.
this is February 3rd.
Yes. Go ahead.
Nicholas Bookstore, 1396 Fulton Street, from 6 to 10 p.m. We have the world famous Black Dot, and we're going to have Blue Pill. And also, you're going to have myself there. I'm going to have a new line of Delta magnets for multi-purpose use of magnetizing food, water, juice, pain relief. And I created also, and I'll take a picture of it, Baba Phil. I got to send you some. It's a new line of magnetic acacia beads. And I put one necklace on my cat, and he looks like he went into deeper trance. So there's going to also be Kinkaliba tea. We'll be serving that, and it will also be for sale this Saturday at Nicholas Bookstore.
Yes.
What you got lined up as far as the question,
What I
Kafunya? You
have
see any?
lined up is repair the breach is asking, do you believe that there is any truth to the NASARA/GESERA talk?
In the Sarah and just Sarah.
Right.
Yeah, we were the first to actually introduce that into the public lexicon of the Black community. Back in the 90s, the early 90s, we were part of something called the farm claims, where the farmers were being closed down and the banks were foreclosing to steal the land of the farmers in the Midwest. They had a what they call they took them to court. They took the Federal Reserve to court and found out that all the banks in the United States were collectively under the Federal Reserve. So we found out that the fiat, because the fiat was not worth anything, they made sure that everyone was going to be everyone in America who became a victim of the Federal Reserve, that they would then take the Federal Reserve to court, and they would have a set of grievances. Say, for instance, you were a bank robber, but you tried to rob money, but there was no real money in the bank, and there was no crime. So there was this chart that you had to fill out. If you did not have education, if your marriage broke up, all these things, if you didn't have proper monies to buy food, didn't go to school, didn't get a proper education, all of that had a fixed price. Now, NESARA was supposed to have been announced on September the 9th or September 11th, 2001. And what happened was it was supposed to be announced on the sidewalk right outside the World Trade Center at 9 p.m. that morning. At 8:57, a plane was parked into the first building. That was to stop NESARA. Yes, that was to stop NESARA. 9/11 was to stop the actual change of what you see happening to the system today, the financial system. That was supposed to change everything. It was supposed to get rid of the IRS. It was supposed to get rid of the CIA. It was supposed to get rid of every one of these particular institutions that were actually oppressing the peoples of the world. And the deep state allowed for that they allowed for the deep state to have this particular attack. And that delayed NESARA and GESARA. NESARA was the National Economics Stabilization and Recovery Act. And this, the GESARA is the Global Economic
Mm,
Stabilization and Recovery Act. And that essentially became the GESARA NESARA, which is supposed to be what is getting ready to go against the WEF, which is the World Economic Forum. They're using the NESARA as the countermeasures. We don't know when it's going to happen, but if it does happen, with all the
mhm,
documents that's going out, we have the NESARA is supposed to go against the new economic system that's being put in by the deep state, and it's supposed to shut them down. So we don't know about GESARA or NESARA, though they say that a rumor ain't a rumor that doesn't die.
mm. Baba, there was a intuitive question that was asked. When are you coming to Nicholas, Brooklyn?
Right at this point, my wife is not in the in position for me to leave her. Her,
Okay.
her new book is coming out. It's called she went. Everybody who knows the story about my wife and what she went through, it's New Life from Near Death. That's the name of her new book coming out soon.
Wow.
And we she did die in my arms, and I had to revive her. And she now, through her own courage and her own strength, and if she didn't have the lifestyle that she did, there was the part where I was going to tell her to name the book, My Lifestyle Saved My Life. And they said that she had the organs. We're in our 70s, and when the doctors looked to her, she had the organs of a 20-year-old. And they said,
Wow.
whoa. And they said, this is impossible. We have never met anybody like you. But something was in her mitochondria that was inherited from her family. And that's what was triggered. They had to send her blood to the National Institute of Health to actually find out what was going on with her, because they couldn't get the proper readings for what she was dealing with.
Okay.
There is the Juice Plus. It's from 4 to 25 years of age. The Juice Plus for those who are there. The Make sure you ask Nanette about all the protocols around the new protocols for Juice Plus when you do call in. And remember, children between 4 and 25, especially ones who are just in high school, or 4 and 25. Thank you, beloved. Um, they essentially are getting it for free if you as an adult were to become a member. And we are looking for people who wish to promote health by becoming one of the partners in Juice Plus. So look into that. If you want to make residual income doing the
Yes.
right thing, then I would suggest you talk to Sister Nanette as well about that, joining our team.
Baba, I just want to send out healing vibrations, and everyone in the chat is doing so, to your beloved partner. And we know that she has the power within her to stabilize whatever is going on. And with you at the helm, we know that everything is in divine order. And we look forward to having her and you when she is in full recovery.
Indeed, and I would, like I said, I've foregone any kind of traveling right now. I would love to come back to New York and sit with my brothers and sisters. I miss you guys, and you all kind of are my pump. When I think
Yes.
of all of what we went through back in New York. But at this time, no, I wouldn't even want to make the move. I'm fine right here, right now, and I just
Okay.
our destiny for the moment.
Yes. And our beloved James Small uh, came to Nicholas, Brooklyn, and he was going through, similar, not similar, but he came around as well. And now he's, traveling and everything like that. So we want the best for the divine feminine that is in your life.
Yes, give
I,
thanks.
I just want to
Yes,
put that out
yes.
there. Um,
Thank you for that, Kofunya. I want to
yeah,
also I want to acknowledge and thank Sister Monique for holding the torch at Nicholas Bookstore. 1396 Fulton Street. And I want to thank you, Kafunya. I want to thank you, Baba Phil. And I want to thank you, Salam, for being feminine Shakti on the show tonight. Your presence was silently loud. Silently loud. Feminine forces in the house.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a healing circle on Tuesday. Baba Phil, we're going to have you and your divine queen in our Jalaban healing circle, which is, oh, I dropped it. Pardon. This is the latest. Baba Phil, you got one of my magnets
Yeah,
already. This is the
yeah,
latest design
yeah.
of
Beautiful,
the magnetic disc
beautiful.
combining the acacia spirit and the latest magnetic keyhole or key sacred geometry to help relieve pain. And
Yeah,
this is great, family,
I
for
see the
magnetizing your bath water, meditation, pet massage. And I'll have these this Saturday at Nicholas.
I see
And
the
I
hexagram.
have this,
Hexagram.
yeah. And this is the latest acacia. You can't really see the orangeness of it unless I put a light on it, but it looks like carnelian. And this one's the one that got my kitty cat like in a trance state. Maybe you can see it a little bit.
Yeah, that's the
You know, you
that's the
see,
sacred tree
and,
of
and I never made a carnelian looking bead before, but this is very powerful as far as strength and projection of intentions. So we're going to have those also, and we're going to do healing
yeah,
collective and individual, and Kafunya will be doing her singing bowls.
yeah. The secret
So that will
that
be
the
huh?
acacia is sacred to the mystics as well as it's adopted by the Masons. The acacia tree.
Mm,
It's very
wow.
sacred to the ancients as a healing energy, vibratory that
Yes.
gives off. Yeah, everything grows around
Yes.
the.
You know what? I'm gonna send some. I gotta hook you up, Baba, big brother. Because let me tell you, family, I met Phil Valentine back in the '80s when I had an 8.5 and 11. We were using flyers of 8.5 and 11 by 11 back then,
Yeah,
and Baba Phil was outside of the African market on
yeah,
125th across from the Apollo,
yeah.
and I was like, "Who are you? What are you about?" And you
Uh,
handed me a flyer. That was 1241 Carroll Street,
That's right, baby.
and I had just come back. I had
Yeah,
just come back from being in the Coast Guard and being
right,
active in South Florida. And
right.
he said, "Come on through."
Yeah,
And it's been an interesting ride ever since. I never went to a place that had Egyptian paintings on the wall, big fluffy pillows, no furniture. You get on the floor, Jack, and an
that's right.
excellent cook
Oh yeah,
in the kitchen. Two
in the,
beautiful cooks in the
yeah.
kitchen. Still in touch with oh boy,
Who's it?
Hazel.
Sister Hazel, right? Yeah,
Hazel was in the kitchen.
that's right.
Yeah, and family. It used to be, and Phil would be doing readings in the basement.
Yeah.
Uh, Lester Lovin had pyramids all over the house, and I was like, "Oh,
Oh
I gotta
yeah,
hook my stuff up like this." I remember, bro.
yeah.
So
And
that
yeah.
was my inspiration.
yeah, I designed a healing tool as
Oh,
well for the
yeah,
people with tuning fork on one end, a crystal on the other end, and a copper tubing. And when you hit the tuning fork, it would vibrate through the copper coil and
Wow.
thing. I'll show you one day. I'll see if I can get the pictures of it that were taken. My whole house in the basement. I had these pyramids and crystals, huge crystals all over the place. The whole place was
yeah.
it was humming.
Place was lit with
It
the
was ready
crystals
for
and pyramids.
liftoff.
Yeah, yeah.
That's when Little Flower would
Yes.
come through.
And we had
Um,
everybody there. We had Preston Nichols.
everybody was there.
Yeah,
Lloyd
Preston.
Strayhorn.
Yeah,
I don't know if I
Bobby
remember
Hemmett.
seeing
We had
Dr. Moore.
Bobby Hemmett. We had Dr. John Henry Clark. We had Dr. Jeffries. We had George. Well, yeah, George Love was there. We had everybody that became the new elders of the conscious community came through the gathering of the masters.
King Simon said he
Wow.
was a young one back
Yeah,
then too. Special
yeah.
acknowledgement to King Simon.
King Simon.
I have a good yes. Family, this is the WhatsApp chat now that you can join. This is the QR code.
Yeah,
Uh, we'll do a screening and we'll do a reading, but you're more than welcome to join the WhatsApp group. It's for the purpose of networking your products, your services, your your art, your poetry. Um, and let me see what else. There's something else here I want to share. Let me move this out the way. Phil, I have your banner, that your ticket flyer. Family, I want you to donate to our brother Phil, and I want you to tap in to all this vast knowledge our brother has. And I want to thank y'all for being here tonight. And you got to increase, family. You got to learn to give and be more generous, because we can
Yeah,
be some grudge holding people, and it's reflected by the likes. And if you're holding a grudge, don't push a like. But if you
right.
thankful for tonight's show, show it in the likes. Push the like button.
Yeah, it
There's a
only takes a
question that I
second.
wanted to have, huh?
It only takes a second.
Yeah, push the like button. Don't just be looking,
Lurking.
staring, acting spooky like wallflowers. What you gonna tell us now? Push the like button. Become activists.
Right.
All right.
Also,
Just to ask
Uncle
a question,
Hanky,
brother.
this was my next question. We only have after this question, we just have one more, Baba, because we know you have things that you have to do and whatnot, and we are very gracious. I am very gracious, and everyone in the chat is very gracious for you being with us tonight, moving forward. You know. So someone asked, how what advice do you have for someone who is homeless?
I
I want to take that top of that, Phil. First, it depends on what city you are in. If you're
yeah.
in New York City, it has some of the best homeless shelters that you can cycle through and have an apartment in all these different apartments that's empty right now in New York City.
Yeah,
I
people are
have
begging.
family members that came from Atlanta to New York City and within months had an apartment. So depending on the city, Phil, take it from there, brother.
Well, I would suggest that you check the blue states. You can go to California. They are more. They've put out more money to deal with the people who are coming in as indigents and so forth. And as he said, New York does have one of the top of the liners because a lot of people leaving New York, and there are a lot of apartments that most people can't afford. So the city is paying the landlords right now. They're not paying them the exact price, but they're paying them enough to keep the buildings in the possession, or
Yes.
they're selling off the buildings to the city, and then the city are housing them with federal dollars. So yeah, so I don't know essentially what to do, or who to tell anyone, because at this particular time, the only way to do that is if we build our own city, which is what I have the mind to do and what I am planning to do. I already have the engineers, I already have the city planners. We need, we have a place that we're thinking about getting with the funds that we're going to be receiving to build a city, a serious city. It's going to be called New Luxor. New
Mm,
and then
Mm.
from that point, we have people who are very interested, people with big pockets that see what's happening and understand that we have to take our whole so-called metaphysical itinerary to the next level. And
indeed.
just to make sure that everybody understands that this coming the 18th of February, I'm going to be doing this again. The everybody's asking me, please, let's, because there was so much information. My friend told me I missed it and so forth. Well, just go up. If you have a problem, this is the whole thing. If you have a problem getting into the, um, sometimes people are having a problem when they click the link to sign in, they have problems. If you're having a problem, send a text, not a text, but send an email to me at my private email, which is Sanu, S as in science, UNNU 777 at gmail.com. Once again, Sanu, which is the ancient Kemetic word for doctor and friend, Sanu, Sunnu, and for the number two, by the way, Sanu, Sunnu, 777 at gmail.com. And in the subject box, put all capital letters, put webinar. That way I can actually differentiate all the crap that I get in that email. But put all capital webinar, and if you're having problems getting in to register, send a request to me at my email, and I will forward the link to register to you. Okay.
Also,
Yes.
Barbara, someone wants to know how can they join that city?
We will
They
not.
just have to
Start with
stay
the link.
tuned.
Listening.
Yeah, you just have to stay tuned. This particular, platforms like my brother here, we will definitely let everyone know when we are in that. Say the city is going to take at least 10 years to do what we wanted to do. And I intend to be in my 90s to the 100 before this, to do this kind of work. And my wife and I have dedicated ourselves. Matter of fact, we have all of the structures to build a city, infrastructures, plumbing, water,
Wow.
electricity. We have all of that planned up. And that's part of what we were looking at for the Sarah, as well as the Zim recovery program that we're dealing with. Hopefully that's not just another set of crap that they're putting out there, but we're waiting. We have our irons in the
We're
fire,
winning. We're winning, Baba.
and we have a
As
lot of
quiet as it's kept, we
yeah,
are winning.
Yeah.
we have
Oh,
irons
you
in
know
the
what?
fire. So
I
if you
want to
want
acknowledge a up and coming reader that's very much a mystic. Special shout out and I met her at Cafonia's Monique's event, Sister Sade. She is a gifted up and coming mystic. So I hope she's there, and I hope what's her name? The one who does the henna,
Oh yeah,
Cafonia.
she's gonna be there.
Yeah, I hope because she's Gabrielle. Her
Yeah.
name's Gabrielle. I hope Gabrielle's there. Squeeze Master, brother Cameroon. Yo, he'll squeeze you into altered states. So I want to thank you, brother Phil.
Yes,
Thank
and
you,
and and
thank you,
we
thank you.
make sure we want a report from Baba Phil Valentine, that the PayPal was so full, it was so hard for him to pick up his phone because all of the flow, the energy of currency was flowing to him and his family. So, family, we know what you can do. And I am expecting that because giving is receiving and receiving is giving,
Give to the
Yes.
and I just want the
Ubuntu.
best. Ubuntu.
Yeah.
if we
And I
just
want to thank you again, Salam. Hey, y'all feel Salam's energy, healing energy? Mention it in the chat because she was a little shy about coming on tonight. And I was like, Salam, come on, hold space with Kafunya. Come on now.
And
And I want
Baba
to thank
Phil has
you.
something. He wanted to say something. You wanted to say something, Baba Phil?
I just wanted to give the telephone number for those who wish to, who are going to be having problems getting jobs or getting their children into school. If they want to deal with the I don't want to say the word, but if they want to deal with the exemption package, there
Yeah.
is a cost, but also people understand that it takes about 3 hours for me to do one package.
Wow.
Mm,
It's very, very in depth, a lot of printing. There's legal materials, legal research to put everything together. And when you see the package, you'll understand. But that's about it. My number for that is 800-847-1291. Again,
okay, hold on. Let me type that in. I'm using my big fingers. 800
8
4
847
847
1291.
1291. Posting now.
Okay, so if you're ready
Okay, show
to
that.
deal with our university, where we're actually our universities, the next semester begins on the 23rd of March, right around the spring equinox. Uh, and we're dealing with the university. We're also dealing with our homeschooling, the Institute for Self Mastery, or ISM. If you don't want your children in these schools where they're warping their minds, you may want to consider dealing with an online homeschooling course. We've been at it for the last 12 years, one of the first to be online, 12 to 15 years actually, as well as we have been doing the metaphysical psychology for the last 35 years, for the last 18, 17 years online. So you may want to check us out again if you are interested in any of the services as well as consultations. The number is 800-847-1291. If you have problems registering, you can send a email to sanu777@gmail, sanu777@gmail.com. Put into the subject box webinar in all capital letters. Brother Hank, Sister Kafunya.
Yeah, let me post that again. Sanu777
at Gmail. I don't see the link. You have the link for your registry?
I got the link in the show description.
Yes.
Great. Okay, wonderful. All right, Sister Salam, I had a chance to say thank you for your presence and radiating.
And I want to thank you again, Phil. I want to thank you, Kafunya, Salam. And I also want to give a special shout out to all those who come to Nicholas. I want to give a special acknowledgement to Sister Naja, beautiful Leo mystic woman. And I want to thank
Brother Stephen.
Stephen. I want to thank Elegba. I haven't seen Elegba in a while. I want to thank him for coming through, Eric. I want to thank everyone. If I don't say your name, I'm sending you a cup of tea. Just want to say thank you.
Kinkaliba.
And we'll have Kinkaliba. We'll have Kinkaliba tea. And welcome to join the I Am Chat WhatsApp group so that we can stay connected in the spirit of Ubuntu. I want to thank you, Baba Phil. You're more than welcome to come back and stay in touch with us. Because you got a bunch of grandkids out here that like to hear your voice and unique perspective on truth.
Give thanks.
Yes.
Already.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right,
thank
y'all.
you.
Say night to Baba Phil and catch y'all later. Peace.
Yes.